I want to ask a question about Lawson. That's the first
yeah,
individual
absolutely.
you talked about.
Yeah.
Are you saying that he was driving JFK's vehicle?
No. Winston, I did background check on Winston. Winston Lawson in 1959 was Army counterintelligence. He quits Army counterintelligence to join the Secret Service. It looks like he's being asked to infiltrate the Secret Service. They don't care if Kennedy wins or Nixon. They want one of their own guys in there in case they need to take him out. And it happened. Winston Lawson is coming down from Washington. He's in charge of the motorcade route. He's figuring out the motorcade route. The men in the vehicle with President Kennedy are two different Secret Service agents, William Greer, the driver, and Roy Kellerman, in charge of the White House detail coming down to Dallas. Winston is just figuring out the motorcade and then making sure Kennedy comes into the kill zone, but not doing it till the last second, the day before, maybe 2 days before. Not telling anyone too much, because if he tells them 2 weeks in advance, someone's going to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't make those turns, why not just keep going another block? So Winston Lawson, Army intelligence, and he's involved in assassination. He put the man right there where he shouldn't have done.
Do you think that Greer, the driver, was involved in the shooting? I saw the Zapruder film, and it almost looks like he turns and shoots him.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I tracked it down in college. I saw it on the big screen. William Greer is 54 years old. He's a chauffeur. He's a Secret Service agent. He slows the vehicle down from 12 miles an hour to 0 at the time of the headshot. The car had stopped. He's either a fool or he's supposed to make the car stop. I don't know which. I kind of think he's a fool, but I'm not sure. But no, he's not turning around, in my opinion, and shooting the president, because William Greer's here and he's looking back at least twice like he's waiting for Kennedy to get hit. Kellerman is right here next to him. Kellerman is looking right at Greer when he's reaching for the microphone, because they ask him, well, now, Kellerman, how come you didn't jump back and help JFK? That's what he's supposed to do. Knock the president down, take the bullet. He doesn't do that. He doesn't want to get shot, obviously. He says, well, at the time I was taking the microphone, I was telling Sorrells to lead us out of here. So he's looking at Greer while they're both looking. So for Greer to have shot him, Kellerman would have known that. There's nothing to indicate Kellerman is involved in assassination. In fact, he is quite heroic during his testimony. He's saying, there's more than 3 shots, and you guys need to look at the Zapruder assassination film. And Gerald Ford says, well, maybe you heard echoes. He said, no, I didn't hear any echoes. We're out in the open. We're in an open field area. There's no echoes, the shots. And Kellerman also is having other Secret Service agents look at the back wound of President Kennedy after the autopsy. There's a wound about 6 inches down his back that's not supposed to be there, according to the Warren report. Kellerman's an honorable man. Kellerman would have saw Greer do it. Greer doesn't have the guts to do it. I don't think.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
probably seeing a reflection of something, a belt, something.
I've given a lot of thought to this school book depository shooting too. That's very hard shot to make. So
Let me tell you how hard. I'm so glad you asked that. The FBI wants to know if Lee Harvey Oswald can shoot 3 times in 6 seconds and hit anything with that rifle. It's a bolt action World War II Italian rifle. So they take the rifle out to the range. 3 FBI agents, including Frazier, FBI firearms expert. All 3 agents missed the target at 15 yards with 3 shots. One of the Secret Service takes 9 seconds, another takes 7. Kellerman fires under 6 seconds. They move the target to 30 yards and then out to about 90 yards, which is the distance from the Oswald supposedly was in Kennedy's car, more or less. Kellerman told the Warren report he's hitting 5 inches above and a couple inches to the right of the target. They can't hit anything with that rifle. Why? The rifle scope was improperly mounted. They checked in and said, yeah, the rifle scope wasn't sighted in. You're going to kill someone and not sight in the rifle scope? So they said, well, maybe he dropped it after he shot Kennedy. So they ordered another Italian Mannlicher Carcano from Klein's, take a look at it, it's off to the same degree. So not only is it a hard shot, it's an impossible shot,
yes,
at least with that weapon.
Well, we are of the same mind on that. Now about Giancani. Supposedly there was all this information going back and forth between JFK and Giancani. And then all of a sudden, now I can't figure out why all of a sudden JFK and Attorney General Robert Kennedy started going after the mafia?
Well, they always intended to.
I mean, first they're on good terms, and now we see a complete turning around. What's going on here?
What's going on is this. Both during the McClellan, they worked for Senator McClellan. They all know all about organized crime. What's happening, my analysis is, the old man wants the kid elected. He's going behind JFK's back to his old contacts, to Giancana, say, hey, help me out. What does it cost me to do? Giancana helps him out. Bobby and John don't know about it at the time. I'm sure they find out about it shortly later. I know the old man has a stroke, you know. I'm wondering if they confronted the old man and said, you did this with the mafia, what are you doing? You know, we could have won without it, and the old man has a stroke. That's what I'm thinking, I don't know. But what's going on is Robert Kennedy doesn't know anything. The guy, he's such a goody-goody. He's so pure in heart and all. John's not telling him that Giancana, you know, we're working with Giancana. He gets angry when he finds out that Giancana, he's trying to prosecute Giancana, and his prosecution of Giancana is being stopped. JFK and Giancana have a more realistic relationship. And then it's only to find out what the CIA is up to. When Giancana says, you know, we're trying to assassinate Castro, you know that, don't you? No. No, I just told him not to do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you ask them these questions? Find out who else is involved. Get it back to me. And they do that spring and summer. So, and then Kennedy ends it because Bobby's going after the mob. He's putting hundreds of these guys in prison in 3 years. So, the short answer is, they don't know initially. It's Joe doing it. At least John finds out about it. Maybe not tells Bobby. And then John...
so it's missed or hidden communications
between
these relatives to some degree.
The old man are not the kids. The old man lived a different life. The kids get all the money. They don't have to go through what the old man does. The kids aren't dirty, not politically. I read his 3 volumes of public papers, and he's tremendous acts of courage that will probably or may not get him elected. You know.
Now, I know about the MK Ultra program.
Yes, good.
All right. And I do believe it existed, and I wonder still myself if it's in place. This blonde woman that was with Sirhan, was she the handler? She was...
She's not so much a handler, she's the bait. They got other men who are handlers.
But you said she was present when...
She's the one in the polka dot dress, too. The woman in a polka dot dress comes rushing out of the ambassadors. We shot Senator Kennedy, and that's according to Sandra Serrano.
So you're saying there was an expert shooter there at the same time Sirhan was there, but I wonder what part she played when she was present at that time. Was she the one that was mind controlling him?
I don't think so. I don't know, but I seriously doubt. She's a young girl, you know, supposedly around 22. How many 22-year-old girls are mind control experts? No, they've got their own mind control experts. She's the bait. She's the great legs. You know?
I've heard of presidential models and this kind of thing, and I was wondering, you know, if she was to what degree she was an active participant. You think she was just a lure?
Yeah.
She was.
Yeah. Well, she knows Senator Kennedy's going to be shot, and she's just a lure to bring him in. Once they bring him in, then they do their brainwashing program, however they do it, with drugs, with hypnosis. However they do it, and they do it well.
I heard that there was a meeting of some major players in the JFK assassination the day before, and that even LBJ may have been involved. What do you know, if anything, about that?
A lot, actually, kind of. Yeah, because I've always been curious. But talk about meetings. I'm reading the LA Summary Reports on Robert Kennedy, Volume 3. Big rumor, in the whole week before Senator Kennedy comes there, through the kitchen help. The kitchen help. Kennedy is going to be shot at the Ambassador Hotel right here in the kitchen. What the hell does a kitchen help know? These people can't keep secrets. I'm telling you, they can't keep secrets when it comes to assassinating someone. You're supposed to be able to keep secrets. They can't keep their mouth shut. But getting back to that one, there's a party at Clinton Murchison's house. It looks like a pre-assassination party. I've always been kind of curious about it. I heard that J. Edgar Hoover was there. If Hoover is there, that my analysis is pretty good. Okay, he's being brought down, and they're going to celebrate Kennedy's death. Clint Murchison and H.L. Hunt are buddies. They grew up together. H.L. Hunt went into oil Clinton went into gas. They both became rich. H.L. Hunt is involved in the assassination. Jack Ruby's visiting him, I don't know, the day before, a couple of days before. What's Jack Ruby visiting the richest man in the world, you know? But, so I wanted to verify that J. Edgar Hoover was there. So I go to Dallas. Should have went there before I wrote the book. And I meet a man named James Fetzer, I think his name is. He's a professor. He's written a couple of books. He wants to take some photographs. He wants to use me. And then we start talking. We hung out that afternoon. And I asked him about that, because I need verification. What do you do with rumors? He said, first he had lunch with Madeline Brown, LBJ's mistress all those years. Madeline told him, yes, there was a party the night before at Clint Murchison's, and J. Edgar Hoover was there. Richard Nixon is there. LBJ comes in late. No one expected him. He wasn't expected, but he comes in late. Then I say, well, because I like to have two sources, not one source. Second source is, he told me he spoke to the guy who drove J. Edgar Hoover to Clint Murchison's place.
Interesting.
So these guys are arrogant. They have a pre-assassination party to get rid of Kennedy. How much fun, man, you know?